This morning we're going to speak about du'as that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, recited when he wore new clothes.
Yeah, and as you know, prayer, supplication is the heartbeat of Islam. So we know that you got a special prayer today.
Yes, inshallah. So this prayer here is to remind you of your blessings, and this blessing is to cover yourself from your private parts to the whole world. And obviously, what Rasulullah done before he wore his new clothes is he said this dua. It's thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing me with something to cover myself. Because of a lady has a hijab, a man has his hijab as well. So this specific dua is very short. It's literally one sentence.
No, we can recite. We'll just talk about it.
Okay. So with this one, it says, "Praise to be to Allah, who clothed me with what covers my nakedness from the human eye, and I adorn myself among the people." So it's I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for covering me and taking away what other people might have said to me if I didn't wear these clothes. Because if you go out with not wearing anything, people are going to point fingers and look at you. So this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you to be able to cover yourself. Everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. You know, there's always reasons why a lady has a hijab and why a man has his hijab. You know, it's taking away what other people might have said to you. So for instance, a man who goes out in literally wearing nothing, he's going to be deemed crazy. He's going to be deemed a person with no respect, a person who has no dignity within himself. Same way as a lady, if she goes out wearing the least amount of clothes, she's going to be called named.
Or attract a particular type of energy. The wrong type of energy.
Bringing sin to a home. Within yourself.
So that's an interesting perspective, because as I was reading the translation of this dua, it's speaking to me about gratitude for the simple things. Like, we don't think twice about, it's a second nature. Baby is born, we clothe it, and up until our death we shroud ourselves with our coffin. But with this, it's we change. We're blessed in this country and in the West that we, and around the world, that we change every day. And clothes is just a natural, blessing we have, which we probably don't think about. That Allah is the provider.
In abundance.
In abundance,
the society,
absolutely. And so we're almost like taken back to the beginning of saying thank you for the simple.
For the simplest things. Who would ever think that you need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for wearing your own clothes?
Exactly. And it's almost like he's saying, so when you were speaking about the translation, praise be to Allah who clothes me with what covers my nakedness, and almost like it's not just a physical. People often ask about
very symbolic language, isn't it?
Yeah, and
sounds very symbolic.
And it's not just the physical covering, but when we're talking about covering, it's almost like Allah is saying, the spiritual covering I'm giving you protection with your clothes and honor with those clothes.
Absolutely.
And again, that's a blessing that we cannot thank Allah enough.
I was thinking about covering as in, it made me think of this covering that when Allah conceals things that we're ashamed of, right? That we're embarrassed of people to know, and it's that in itself is a blessing that Allah conceals it. And we don't. It's like they say, it's bad etiquette to reveal about a belief or what Allah is hidden or something like that.
Yeah, there's another dua that says, "Hajibni min humum al-dunya." That means cover me from the oppression of this dunya. So it's not just covering yourself, physically, as you said. You're very right. But it's symbolically kind of aiming towards as well your daily routine, which is what you're basing on today. Hajibni min humum al-dunya. It means cover me from the oppression of life, of this life. To put a hijab over me and protect me. It's like a force field. These ad'iyah is literally like a barrier to against bad things happening to you in this life. And it's literally from the simplest things.
It is.
But they're important. They're very important, because even if we take it just on a physical level, clothes protect us, as in they hide our shame, but also even from the elements. Because when it's very cold, you would take it for granted if you have a winter coat. But if you can't afford a winter coat, people that are homeless, people that are outside, and don't have the right clothing for
Other people don't have
the environment they're
blessings that
living
you
in.
have.
You know, so Allah has given us a lot of blessing, reminding us.
So, Brother Jazani, in terms of what the clothes style that Ahl Bayt would wear, so we're often told very simple, lived simple means. How would you, for the viewers' sake, describe how they dressed and their etiquettes in when they wore clothes?
Of course, the fashion style from then to now is very different, but the principle of dressing hasn't changed. I mean, there's narrations that Imam Ali had a gown for when he goes out, and he had a gown for when he's at home. Only two. And whenever it rips, he'll sew it, and and that's literally how it is. And people used to see him, and one of the khaddamat, one of the helpers of Imam Ali, she asked him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, you are the Imam of this time. Anything you want is at your feet. You have the money, which is the blessings of wealth is uncounted. But yet you don't change. He goes, look, I came to this life with nothing. I was born into this life with nothing. I will leave as simple as I can. Me dressing every single day in a different color is not going to make someone else respect me even more. But it's the simplicity of what you dress. Nowadays, a lot of people are worrying about what designer shirt they want to buy.
Trying to make the right impact, the power dressing and making the right impact. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, look, at this day and age, there's nothing wrong with that. Is because at this day and age, people kind of judge you based upon what you're wearing. So a man is a man by the shoes he's wearing.
Yes.
If you're going to work, or if you're going to a job interview, and you're wearing shoes which is
absolutely scruffy,
they're going to judge you.
No, you should be dressing appropriate for the environment.
Yeah, of course. So now in this day and age is different. So what the teachers we have from the Ahlul Bayt is always look tidy yourself, presentable, smell nice. That's why Rasulullah before he used to pray, he has his own adr. Of course, they don't need it. These are imma, they are mutahhareen regardless. But
they're teaching us though, right?
But they're doing it to teach us. Exactly. They're doing it to teach us, and it tells you. There's another teaching towards this one. It tells you no matter how much blessings you have, you're equal to everyone else.
Yes.
He goes, I don't want to walk in the street with my beautiful gown and see another person on the street who doesn't have it. I do not want to have something someone doesn't have.
I want to be responsibility, didn't he, towards his, the whole ummah to say.
Of course, you're a role model. People look up to you.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a role model, people look up to you. People are going to strive and do whatever they can to be like you. So why not be as simple as you can, so it's easier for them to be like you.
And the funny thing is, society we live in. I was reading this article yesterday, and it was about a Hollywood star. Obviously, wasting my time. And she was wearing something simple, and they were saying, oh, simplicity shines through, it's amazing. And you just can't win in this world, because if you dress simply, oh, it's wonderful, and then you're expected with perhaps especially with society that, alhamdulillah, we don't live like that, but they're wearing their Versace gowns, they have to dress different dresses for each event, and you think the pressure that puts on people, it's a lot, and you can't make others happy.
Some do
But these celebrities nowadays, they wear anything and it's been accepted.
And
it's become a fashion just because they've worn it.
Endorsed it, yeah.
And that's the problems that we go with in this dunya. But it's not right now. Even if you dress nice, if you dress beautifully, if you're a designer, it's not haram. You're not going to be accounted for it. It's not something bad.
You made the money by halal means.
You bless yourself. You have your blessings. You count your own blessings, and you dress accordingly to what you're able to do. Now, a person has to just accept. I'm not able to buy a £500 shirt, so I'm not going to. I'll buy a £100 shirt or £50 shirt, but where I am comfortable. But there's people, mashallah alayhum, they've been blessed in life where they can buy a £500 shirt and still eat and sleep at night comfortably, which is a blessing, which it doesn't matter.
And that's their choice.
Exactly. Rasulullah was a very successful businessman. He married a lady who was known in the Arabic realm as for business. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, work hard.
Yes, absolutely.
Hayya ala khair al-amal. Work hard. This is part of khair al-amal, is you working and providing for your living. But now in this day and age, to live, to be accepted by everyone else, you have to meet their demands.
You have to live in the times you're
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about the issue of what do we do? You mentioned what do we do when we've got all these blessings and like this is Allah's environment? Should we be giving our clothes as a sadaqah away? Should we just throw them in the bin? Or you was making that point that how do we benefit others from what we've been blessed with?
I think a lot of obviously women have a turnover, a lot of clothes, and I think shoes perhaps. I'm not a great shopper, but if you have these, and I have plenty of friends who like their shoes and their handbags and clothes, and so when you're looking at sort of places like that can actually produce clothes on a high turnover, fashion changes practically every season. So I think that often people say, well, what do we do with our old clothes? And alhamdulillah, I think most people try to look at charities, recycling those clothes. But I'd like to go to the end of the cycle. So, for instance, when in 2015 there was that whole refugee crisis, and so when I was in Greece, a lot of Muslims were coming over from Syria and Iraq, and the clothes that were donated to the charities, and that what people took over. Not everyone is in a situation in the environment we're in, where we have these blessings. We're not faced with too many turmoils, and catastrophes on the other side of the world can be often quite detrimental. So to see firsthand how people were, so grateful for a new pair of shoes, for trousers, and that perhaps we just take as granted that just put it in the bin. And I think to see that actually to recycle, to actually donate to charities, it's so important. And when you see the gratitude on that whole cycle, you think, actually, I'm glad that's
reminds you waste is bad, right? Yeah.
Reminds you of your blessings. A lot of people, I was walking one day in Karbala, and it was Sha'ban. And we were walking, me and one of my good friends, Hussein, he's backstage right now. There was this one kid who was jumping onto a bus and he didn't have any money to pay for his own bus, and he looked very scuffy. Now, this little kid, all I'd done is give him my shawl, and he took it as if he was blessed with something. Like I've given him something crazy. It was just something very simple shawl. And I gave him a bit of money. I told him, where do you live? We live outside, just outside Karbala. There's a mud village where their houses are built from mud. And he's out there working. He's begging people, this and that. They don't know the story of this child. They don't know that this is the same clothes probably he's been wearing for a week, 2 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks. Maybe he doesn't have a change of clothes for a long time. Maybe he found these clothes. Because they're out there working. People actually push them away in Iraq sometimes. But of course, there's only so much you can do to help. But there's a lot of people who push them away and think they're just begging. No, they have no other option. Same way in Africa. Same way anywhere in the world. You have poverty.
Yeah.
And these people have no option. This is the way they have to live their life.
Yeah.
And for us to, shoes are understandable. You can throw them away sometimes because you wear them and it gets smashed up. Yeah. But like shirts, t-shirts, stuff like that. Absolutely. Things that you don't want means hell a lot.
But I will intercept that things you don't want and are in good condition because.
No, of course, in good condition. Yeah.
You wouldn't give somebody something that you wouldn't wear anymore because it's shredded.
Of course, it'd be very selfish of you to you have a ragged t-shirt and it's ripped up and you throw it out something worth it. No, that's you have to have respect for them. They're still human beings, the same dignity,
same dignity,
and they're equal to us.
Absolutely.
Something acceptable. You're right. But always, have that thought in your head where there is a charity. There's a lot of, alhamdulillah, we're blessed with many charities who take in clothes and send it over to, orphans around the world.
Yeah,
and there's many.
So it'd be actually good to hear you. I know it's a short dua, but it'd be good to hear the recitation.
Yeah.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي كساني ما يواري عورتي وتجملوا به في الناس برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
So there's a note says that when he used to take his clothes off, Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, he would take them off from his left side first. It was his practice that when he wore new clothes, he would praise Allah and then call a poor beggar in order to give him his old clothes. So every level, it's not that he didn't wear new clothes, that people often have this, wrong image that the Prophet used to probably wear rags, and but it wasn't like that. As you're saying, his wife was affluent, he was a successful businessman. But it's what you do with what you already have.
Exactly. It's what you do. It's how you conduct yourself in front of people, which is very important. Because Rasulullah has been put in this earth to set an example to the living being of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's yes to Rasulullah to lead everything, to give us the whole concept of Islam, to give us the message. But he's also, there's not only for just a message. He is a role model that you have to look at. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put you an example of how you need to be.
The perfect example.
Example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't just say, this is what you do, go for it. No, He's given you an example. He's given you someone who's already lived that life to try and live close to how he is living. So these clothes, when he used to take off and give it to a poor person, wear new clothes, take off, give it to a poor person, it's showing you, give charity. But when Imam Ali comes and he's is sewing his own clothes, that's showing you it doesn't matter if you have everything, live simple. And there's the different kind of narrations. There's many narrations of Ashab. Salman al-Farisi had the most beautifulest gowns. The companion of Rasulullah. And it's just different. See, we have so much examples that we can live by, and then each one has their own message. But all this message, if you combine it into one, it's to one person's lifestyle. You can dress beautifully, but don't forget the poor. You can eat the best of food, but don't forget to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I like that as a summary. Whatever remember your blessings, but don't forget the poor. But we've run out of time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And next up is Hijab and Etiquette with Sister Masuma Jah.